you read us a Christmas story?
Please, Grandpa. We like your stories best.
You do, huh?
Yes. Your stories are always different and a lot more fun.
Not just plain old stories like everyone else reads.
Well, most people just read the lines when they read a story. I read the lines and between the lines. Keeps me awake.
The between the lines part is your own stuff, right?
Shh. That's our secret.
How come everybody else doesn't do that? It sure makes the story more exciting.
Well, you see, you have to have special glasses to read between the lines. And just a few people have them.
That's crazy.
Might be, but it's true. Now, here's a story, Eric, that I used to read to your father. I think you'll like it. It's called Nathan and the Neon Nightlight. It took place back in Bible times.
But they didn't have neon lights in the Bible.
You think neon is a new invention, huh? Why, when I was courting your grandma, we used to go to the Rick Rack soda fountain. All the signs there were in neon. Now, quit being so picky and let me tell the story. Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Babylon, there lived a young prince. His name was Nathaniel, but between the lines it says to call him Nathan. He often wished that he could be just an ordinary boy, but because he was a prince, his life was spent in preparation for the day when he would reign as king over his people.
Being a prince has its privileges, I guess, but most people don't have any idea what a royal life is like. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yes, my father is a king. I have the best of everything. I have royal robes and jewels. I have servants, I have rules, 'cause my father is a king. Yes, his father is a king. He has the best of everything. He has cattle, he has land, he has wealth on every hand, 'cause his father is a king. My father the king is a wealthy man. Someday all of this I will own, but I must be trained to accept the crown before I can reign all alone. If my father were a king, I'd have the best of everything. I'd have computers everywhere and have money enough to spare. If my father were a king, if my father were a king, I could buy most anything. I could travel near and far by myself on VCR. If my father were a king. Now wait a minute. Does that mean I'd have to wear a silly dress like you and follow lots of extra rules? Eat fancy stuff with a lot of fancy forks. Study real hard in a one-kid school. Well, yes. When your father is a king, when your father is a king, you have the best of everything. You have the best of everything. But remember what I say, there is quite a price to pay. When your house is a palace and you find that your father is a king.
Computers, Grandpa? Come on.
Just updating the story a little.
Remember, Grandpa has to keep himself awake.
Right, Amy. Now, Nathan had just about everything anybody could want. Even all the stuff advertised on the Saturday morning cartoons. Why, you would have thought he had been very happy. But he had his problems. For one thing, his father, the king, had very little time to spend with him. And besides, he had very few friends. In fact, his two servant friends, Joram and Josiah, were about the only two boys his age around the palace. Yes, Nathan had his problems, but you'd never have known it. because as a prince, he had to be very strong.
I'm not a little kid anymore, and as a prince, I've been trained to handle anything that comes along. When I was little, I was afraid of storms, and I was afraid of my father when I knew I was in trouble. But not anymore. I've been taught to act very mature. In fact, I'm not afraid of anything.
But that wasn't 100% true. He did have one secret. He was afraid of the dark. Every night, he would take a candle to his room and light it before he jumped into bed, so the blackness wouldn't scare him. His personal servant would blow the candle out after Nathan went to sleep.
I would be so ashamed if anyone found out about my candle. I tried so hard to get over this, but I just can't.
I'm afraid of the dark sometimes.
How about you, Eric? Are you afraid of anything?
Who, me? Nah.
Who's afraid of the dark at night? Not me. Well, sometimes. Who's afraid of not dressing right? Not me. Well, sometimes. Who's afraid of a brand new school, brand new faces and brand new rules? Who's afraid of looking like a fool? Not me. Well, sometimes. Who's afraid when you get left out? Not me. Well, sometimes. When you don't get picked, do you want to shout, choose me? Well, sometimes. Do you walk home slow when your grades are bad and you know you have to show them to your mom and dad and you know it's really gonna make them mad? Not me. Well, sometimes. Do you ever wonder what you're gonna be? Who, me? Well, maybe. Do you ever fear what you cannot see? Not me. Well, maybe. When you're off in a corner, when you're all alone, are you glad you're not out on your own? Does it scare you just a little, the great unknown? Well, maybe, I guess, perhaps.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, it came to pass that one day while Nathan was doing his homework, he was researching some ancient scrolls, that his father rushed in and interrupted him.
Let's hear it for interruptions during homework.
Is this your story, Eric, or is it mine?
Nathan, I'm going on a very long journey. I thought I might take you with me.
Me? Really? Where are we going?
Well, actually, I'm not quite sure of our final destination. We're going to follow a very special star. It's unlike any star I have ever seen before.
What do you think it is? After all, you are an expert on the heavens.
Well, it just might be the Star of Jacob, the one talked about by the prophets as a sign of the Messiah.
Oh, I've just got to go. Can I take Joram and Josiah too?
Yes, son. We have no idea how long we'll be gone, so we'll have to take many servants, a caravan of supplies. Oh, and one more thing. Since you're becoming such a grown-up young man, you'll be able to have your own tent. It gets mighty dark in the desert, but I think you'll do just fine.
My own tent? Grown up? Dark. Better take my candle.
What a trip we're leaving today. I wonder just how long we will stay. Camels pack our tents all stacked and soon we'll be on our way. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal
nothing.
Kings of Orient bearing gifts we travel afar. Field and fountain, hill and mountain, following yonder star. Star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright. Westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright. Westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect
This trip turned out to be a lot longer than anybody expected. The boys kept asking, "Are we there yet?"
Oh, Grandpa.
Well, this was a long parade. It had camels, kings, and servants. Oh yeah, and cases of hot dogs and bags of potato chips. It caused quite a stir as it entered each little village along the way. And the boys, they were having a wonderful time.
Can you believe that star?
It just keeps getting bigger and brighter.
We better not tell anyone about this. They'll think we made it up.
Don't you wonder what that star is really for? I mean, sometimes when I look at it, it doesn't seem real.
Like we're part of a mystery or something.
Maybe tomorrow we'll get our answers.
Good night, Nathan.
I don't know who you are or why you're here, but I feel you are my friend. It's like you even know my secret. You never let the desert go dark at night.
Star, great star, so big and bright, shining through my tent at night. My candle seems to be so small, and I'm not even scared at all. I will sleep beneath your light, safe and sound throughout the night.
So, Nathan crawled into his sleeping bag. And guess what? No nightmares. Even the shadows that danced on the walls of his tent seemed to be his friends.
Starlight, star bright, brightest star that I see tonight. Come inside my tent with me, come and be a friend to me. Starlight, star bright, whenever I go to bed at night, I count on you to be wide awake while I'm fast asleep. Star at night, star in the day, you never seem to be far away. We followed you over desert sand, and now we're entering a strange new land. Guiding our trip, showing the way. Don't you ever take a holiday. I hope we didn't make a big mistake when we followed you all this way. Brilliant beacon of the galaxy, astronomical celebrity. Where will this crazy journey end? Tell me in a way that I can comprehend. The trip got long, it got kinda tough. Don't you think it's been about long enough? Somebody better solve this mystery before we call the whole thing off. Little starlight, shining in the tent tonight. Little starlight, won't you keep on shining bright? Little starlight, shining in the tent tonight. Little starlight, make sure our little expedition turns out right. Yeah!
As I already told you, this trip was getting pretty long. The boys were sick and tired of being cooped up in the back seat of a camel with nothing to do.
Grandpa!
All right, but they sure were happy when they saw the great city of Jerusalem. Word that they were coming had reached the city long before they arrived. Heard it on the 6 o'clock news, Channel 13, I suppose.
Or someone told my friend Susan. She tells everything.
Well, whatever. By this time, the three kings were sure that the star must indeed be a sign of the promised Messiah. So the minute they arrived in Jerusalem, they began to ask, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews?" You know, King Herod soon got wind of their questions, and he was extremely angry. He was a proud and selfish king, and he certainly had no intentions of sharing his throne with anybody.
I don't like him already.
Smart boy, Eric. He definitely is a bad guy in this story.
Boys, I'll be gone for a little while. Herod the king has requested to see us. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Oh, Father, can we go?
Not this time, son. This meeting is just for kings.
Now, when Herod spoke to the kings, he was very charming. But he was a deceitful and evil man. Even though he told them to go and find the baby so that he too could come and worship him, that really wasn't what he had in mind.
I am the one and only king. I have the power over everything. Everyone just to obey my word. I am the one and only king. I sit upon the mighty throne. I occupy it all alone. No one takes my power away. I am the one and only king. The prophets tell about the great Messiah, who so they say will be king of the Jews. The rumors have it he's been born in Bethlehem, and if that's true, he'll surely pay his dues. I am the one and only king. I have the power over everything. Everyone jumps to obey my word. I am the one and only king. I've really fooled those three wise men. Told them to come back here again. Told them that I would worship him, just like a lowly sinner said. But I made a solemn vow. There's no way I'll bend a bow to anyone, king or not. I'll take care of him somehow. Now I don't care about the book of promise. It was written many years ago. And who will say that he is really God's own son? My kingdom he will never overthrow. I am the one and only king. I have the power over everything. I sit upon a mighty throne. I occupy it all alone. For I am the one and only king.
Boy, does he have a big head.
Right, Eric. And he also had a very wicked heart.
He was lying, wasn't he?
Sure was, Amy. But the kings were smart enough to know that they couldn't trust Herod as far as they could throw him. And as the caravan pulled out from Jerusalem, they knew that if they ever did find that baby king, they sure wouldn't waste their money on a long-distance telephone call back to Herod, if you know what I mean.
So, are they almost there yet?
Almost. And by this time, the star was bigger and brighter than ever. Now, we're not talking about twinkle here, folks. We're talking about serious streams of intense light. It was as if someone had pumped 10 times the power into the brightest neon sign on the busiest street in town. As they arrived at the edge of a tiny village called Bethlehem, They were filled with excitement and wonder. Could this be it? Suddenly, the star stopped. Just stopped. There it hung, proud and brilliant, over a plain old stable.
Son, we have found him.
The Messiah? The one who is to be king of the Jews?
Yes, son. His name is Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins.
Jesus. I like that name. Messiah sounds too important, but Jesus sounds like a real person. But Father, one question.
If Jesus is a king, then where's the best of everything?
I'm only an earthly king. I haven't all the answers, but...
God could have done this any old way. Why just a stable with cows and hay? He could have made this a royal event, so all of the world would know what he meant.
But he didn't.
Why did the angels sing their song out in the middle of nowhere? Two shepherds come now, who are they? What kind of gifts could they bear? Why does he have that great big star and this little place beneath it? He could have had a palace built and servants trained to keep it. No robe, no crown, no kings around, no royal celebration until the star brought us this far, our ultimate final destination. And if the prophets of long ago knew what this was
I'm sure God knows what he's doing, son. I'm afraid you're just going to have to trust him.
I guess, but sometimes it's hard.
I know. You're just like me. By the way, I have a question for you. I noticed that you gave your favorite golden candlestick to Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Why did you bring it with you?
Well, you see, I guess it really doesn't matter anymore. Say, Dad, does it look like the star is fading just a little?
Perhaps. Maybe his job is finished.
You mean it's going away? It won't be with us on the way home?
It's just a star, son. A magnificent one for sure, but only a star. We have found Jesus, the light of the world, the everlasting, bright, and morning star.
Everlasting?
That's right, son. The light he brings will never go away. It doesn't light up the sky. It lights up your heart.
You mean inside?
That's right, son. If you have the bright and morning star in here, he will be with you all the time. During the day when the sun is bright, and even during the night when it's dark and cold.
The bright and morning star is mine?
And mine. The light and life for all who believe in him.
Wait until Joram and Josiah hear this.
Light of the world, light of my heart, light of all lights that never will depart. Come and be my guide, come and live inside and protect me, direct me. Light of my nights, light of my days, please walk beside me in all of my ways. And when I fall, help me to recall that you are my special friend. When I am alone, when I am afraid, when the ones I love break promises they've made, it is nice to know, no matter where I go, you're beside me, still inside me. Even when I have a secret I can't tell, or when I make plans and they don't go so well, even when I'm down, I know you're still around, and that makes me feel okay. Light of my heart, light my life today.
Nathan was right. The star was fading. Soon he would be left without its heavenly light and without his golden candlestick, too. But for the first time in his life, that didn't seem to be too scary.
Well, star friend, I don't suppose you'll be around here much longer. Thanks for sticking with us all these months. Thanks, too, for being my special nightlight. But thanks most of all for bringing us to Jesus. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right, even without my candle. I've got a light in here now, a light that will never go away. I'll never forget you. So long.
And so it came to pass that Nathan, his two friends, and the three kings started the long journey back home.
Still sounds like a pretty good life to me. I wouldn't mind having a king for a father.
But you do, Eric. If you have Jesus in your heart, the King of Kings is your father.
You're right, I forgot about that. My father is a king.
And I guess that makes me a princess.
Aw, give me a break.
Yes, my father is a king. He has the best of everything. He has cattle, he has land, he
that's the story of Nathan and the Neon Nightlight. The candle stayed in Bethlehem, and the big star disappeared. But God's light has continued to shine ever since in the hearts of men and women and boys and girls everywhere. The end.
That was the very best Christmas story I ever heard.
Yeah, Grandpa, especially the between the lines part.